What is going on, guys? It is Marco here, back with another review for the MRM YouTube channel, and today I will be reviewing Scream 6, a 2023 American horror slasher film. Before I do get into my thoughts, though, there are just a few things I want to get out of the way. First off, I'd like to thank you all for viewing my last review, Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. The support there was absolutely phenomenal. The second thing is, this review will be a spoiler-free review. I will not be revealing any key plot points. For those of you who haven't seen the film yet, or if you have seen the film, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, but I won't be revealing any key plot points. I'd also like to say that I'm basing this review purely on Scream 6 and what was shown in the film. I am aware it is part of a larger franchise, which I have not yet seen. I haven't seen the past films, especially the most recent one, Scream 5. So everything I say or mention here is purely just on Scream 6. And also I will be giving my final review slash thoughts right at the end of the video, my final score right at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But with that in mind, don't forget to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and also comment what you thought of Scream 6 if you have seen it or whether you want to go see it. Love to start a discussion with you guys. But with that out of the way, let's get into the plot slash story of the film. So the plot of Scream 6, to put it simply, is following on from Scream 5, the film follows our four core characters, Sarah, Tara, Mindy, and Chad, and together these four must band together to take on the threat of Ghostface, who has upped his game in, I guess, the killing world. That's basically the plot, nothing too complicated. As I said, trying to keep it spoiler free. But with that out of the way, let's get into the things I liked about Scream 6. So I guess the first thing I really loved about Scream 6 was the sort of violence and the blood and gore of it. It was definitely top tier for me, and the visual effects and what they did to really make this some pretty gruesome violence throughout the film, I definitely thought was top tier. Also like to iterate that this is an MA15 plus film, so for younger audiences, you might find some of the violence a bit confronting. But for me, I really loved it. You know, the visual effects definitely had time to shine, and I really loved how creative they got with the violence. While some tactics were sort of not really original, I just love the creativity behind it. The second thing I really liked about this film was actually the villain, that being Ghostface. I really like the fact that he was a villain that just was very relentless and didn't stop in his task. If you do go see the film, you know, I'd really love to hear if you guys agree with what I'm saying here. But yeah, I just liked he was a formidable villain, and he just had this presence in the film that I really liked. The third thing is, I really like the style of New York. It's a very sort of modern New York, and I really like the fact that a lot of the film is kind of set in a dark environment. But New York this time around, it looked really good, and I really thought it matched the tone of the film. So with what I liked out of the way, it's now time to move into some things I didn't really like about the film. So I guess the first thing I didn't like about the film was actually the story, but more the context of the story. As I said, I haven't seen the past Scream films, so for me going into this, I was a bit sort of confused with sort of certain plot points or characters that were introduced. I didn't really understand their role or how they actually fit into the overall franchise. But as I said, I do want to see the past films just so I can understand the story of Scream 6. But yeah, for me, some of the plot points just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The second thing I didn't really like, relating to story once more, was actually how predictable it was. It got to a point in the film where I instantly went, oh yeah, they're the villain, or oh yeah, he's, you know, Ghostface or something. You know, it was actually quite predictable at times, and even when it moves into the third act, you know, when we have sort of the big revelation, I was like, oh, of course it's, you know, these people. Yeah, for me, it just felt very predictable, and I thought, you know, could have done some more with it. And I guess the third problem I had with the film was some of the characters, specifically one side character, that being Mindy. I found it to be very annoying, and she didn't really contribute all that much to the story. As I said, I haven't seen the past films, so I don't, you know, I kind of understood her role in this film, but I feel like if I see Scream 5, at least I'll understand her better. But otherwise, she was very much sort of the pop culture, sort of nerd, I guess, you know, and I don't know, she didn't really contribute that much. She didn't really do that much. But yeah, I just didn't really find her an overly interesting character. But with my dislikes out of the way, now it's time to move on to my final thoughts / my overall review for the film. So at the end of the day, Scream 6, for me, it was a pretty enjoyable film, to put it at the least. You know, for a horror slasher, you know, I've seen a few horror slashers here and there, you know, like Halloween is a great example. I think for me, for a modern horror slasher, it did what it was meant to do. And if I was to give a score out of 10, I'd probably give it a solid 6.5. I do feel that this score might go up, and if I do post a spoiler review on YouTube on Scream 6, I do hope to watch the other films beforehand, so I will definitely probably raise the score at that point, so it may change. But as for if you should go see this in cinemas or wait for it to come out on streaming, I recommend just waiting for it to come out on streaming. As I said, if you're in my position where you haven't seen the past films, better for it to just come out on streaming so you can just watch them all in one hit. Unless you just want to watch them all beforehand, then go see it in cinemas. It's totally up to you. But for me, I would probably just wait for it to come out on streaming because, as I said, it's an enjoyable film, but not one I would go to the cinemas multiple times to see. But anyway, to reiterate, my final score for this film is a 6.5 out of 10. Of course, that does bring us to the end of my non-spoiler review of Scream 6. I hope you did enjoy the video. Remember, don't forget to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and also comment your thoughts on whether you're planning on seeing Scream 6 or if you have seen it. And if you have seen it, did you enjoy it or not? Love to start a discussion. Remember to also check out the Instagram, which will be down below, maybe a link up here, I don't know, but down below. That is at Marco, well, I'll link it down below. But anyway, you know, thanks for watching and keep watching movies.